What's going on, everyone? This is Simple Mocha, and I am reacting to Do All Strippers Think the Same? Let's just jump into it.
Women can move seductively. It is sexy. It is looked at as beautiful. When a man does it, it's looked at a little effeminate.
Gyrating like
yeah,
this?
it's thought of
Like
being
this?
feminine. Yeah, that's
Give us an example.
Oh shit. Okay.
I consider myself a sex worker. Three, two.
That is a good question. Mm, no, I don't think they're sex workers. Yeah, I don't think they're sex workers. Reason why? Because they don't. You pay for a dance, but you're not getting like. You do get some satisfaction, but you won't get like the full satisfaction when you start doing intercourse and stuff like that. So no, I don't consider strippers sex workers.
2, 1, go.
Ooh, okay.
I think there are varying degrees of sex work. I think that there's a spectrum, and I think that as a stripper, I was on the spectrum of being a sex worker. I wouldn't necessarily have called myself a sex worker in the past because I didn't have enough education on what a sex worker was. And I also feel like I've not earned the right to call myself a full service sex worker. So that's why I just prefer sex worker, because there's a higher degree of sex work above stripping, I think, so.
I don't find myself to be a sex worker. I find myself to be creative. When I'm on stage performing, even though it's sexual, you're creating a whole act.
I agree with, that it is an art form and that you are creating, a whole persona, whether it's, the fireman act or your cop act, cowboy, something like that. But it's still in the sex industry. And, you sexy ass dude, don't try to deny it. And you out there being sexy for the ladies, and that's why they're there to see you, because, it's sex. Sex sells.
For me,
Okay.
a lot goes into what I do at work, the way that I put myself together, the way I present myself, the way that I do hair and makeup and glam and outfits, and all that kind of stuff goes into it. And I think that goes more into entertainment than it would sex work.
But don't you think that, when you're out there, that the majority of your clientele is men, right?
Yeah.
And they're out there because, they fantasize about being with you specifically, you know what I mean? So I think that you should be considered a sex worker, because that's what your clientele's thinking when they see you.
Well, that would be the same way that they see Angelina Jolie as well, though. They go see her movies because she is a great actress, but she's also an extremely beautiful woman.
Yeah.
So a male can go and watch her movies and say, God, I wish I was married to Angelina Jolie, but she's a bona fide movie star.
Okay. Those are two great points.
Is represented in the media. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, I agree too. I would agree.
Magic Mike and Chippendales are two most iconic figures for male stripping, and I don't think they misrepresent male stripping. If anything, I think they're pretty on point, because I actually started dancing because I watched Magic Mike. Yeah, that's what got me thinking, I could do this. Yeah, I want to be a male stripper. Since I've started dancing, it is very similar to the movie. You got the review, you got the house parties, and that's pretty much, it's cut and dry.
But we got a lot of people that think that we gay too, a lot of times. I get women all the time saying, are you gay or your dancer gay? I have nothing against gay people, but...
Where's that media come from though? Where do they get that idea?
Society says that women can move seductively. It is sexy. It is looked at as beautiful. When a man does it, it's looked at a little effeminate.
Gyrating like
yeah,
this?
it's thought of
Like
being
this?
feminine. Yeah, that's
Give us an example.
This is
not that
gay?
it's gay.
This is gay?
It's just most men do not have that kind of coordination and rhythm, okay?
It's wild because customers
see
will
that
talk
point.
to me or talk to dancers for a little bit, and then they'll be like, "Wow, you're kind of smart," and they're surprised, or they're like, "Wow, you're funny." And
But they say that to us too. They don't think
No.
we're smart at all. Yeah, they just think
No,
we're
yeah.
muscle in a body. That's all they think we are too.
Yeah.
Jokes that I see all the time is that we are supporting our drug habits and our children, and we're just.
Yeah, that's a crazy stereotype. That's crazy stereotype.
Turning tricks all the time. Yes, some of those things are true, but that's not all it is. And then like on Family Guy, is it Family Guy or American Dad, where they're basically like strippers have no souls? And I've actually had people say that to me because they're
It was
learning
American
it on
Dad.
TV. And I like told her very kindly, like, don't ever say that to someone ever again. You learned the wrong information. That is not how we are.
Sexual harassment comes with the job.
Yes, most definitely. I believe that sexual harassment does come with this type of job. Like some people have audacity, like they have the audacity to do some wild shit. Like, bro, you gotta know where the boundaries are and where the line you came in there for something, and nothing more, nothing less. That's it.
3, 2, 1, go.
For example, the DJs that we have, sometimes they're like really touchy with the girls, and if you're not the type of girl that likes to get touched, then you tell them no. Like, they won't put you on stage, and they will skip you, and they will put girls ahead of you. So it's either you're gonna really tip them, and I tend to like tip them
I've
a lot.
never
Yeah, and I
experienced that.
have always like kind of bumped heads with some of the DJs because of that.
That's
I
wild.
mean, it's wrong, and then sometimes like the customers are really touchy, and it's kind of like, pah, you know? I don't know.
I've never
Yeah.
personally had that experience. Customers, they can get drunk. But, I've never had anything outlandishly disrespectful happen at work. I've been like recognized by people at the mall and stuff, and I've had really nasty things said to me.
So would you say outside work, you get harassed more than inside work? Would you
If
think?
somebody, yeah, because I'm free game at the mall. I'm shopping, I'm on my phone, and I just hear somebody down the hall like screaming, you strip. They call me the B word. And I'm like, who is this person that turned around?
That's
And he
fucked
was like,
up.
when you in the club, you act like you don't know me, you can't dance with me, you don't see me, you think you too good and stuff like that. Like, I've been cursed out. Malls, parties, all kind of stuff. Called sluts, all kind of stuff. So that does happen.
There's a difference between male stripping and female stripping because you got bouncers, you got security,
Yeah.
you've got like your employer. Male stripping is independent contracting. So when we show up to a party, it's usually house parties. It's the majority of our work. There are reviews, but you're only there for what, like 1 to 2 hours at a club, and we're men. It's just like a classic case. I don't know, since way back when, since the beginning of time, that women have always been, victimized and sexually harassed, and it's kind of hard to sexually harass a man, I feel like.
I've had people punch me when I was on stage. I've had people like try to finger me during a lap dance. I've had everything. People untie your bikini, people touch your, like, everything. Touching your face is gross. But I think you should expect somewhat of some sexual harassment from a situation that's sexually charged, especially if you add alcohol to it.
Sometimes I like the sexual harassment. I'm not gonna
Well, I'm
lie.
not saying that
I
you
like
should
it
like it or
sometimes.
you should have to like
fuck.
it, but you should kind of expect it sometimes,
Exactly,
or
yeah.
be prepared for it at least.
My job affects my ability to maintain a romantic relationship.
Yeah, I agree. Well, for both. I was gonna say for the female aspect, I agree. Because as a man, it's some men have difficulty with trying to like accept that your girlfriend is basically like getting almost nude in front and dancing in front of other guys, and you just kind of like, ugh, I can't. For the male side, yeah, I would agree too, because it goes both ways. But I would like to hear the perspective from the male side. Go deeper.
3, 2, 1, go.
I am a dad of 3 kids. When they come see me in Cali, I don't dance. I shove it to the side for 3-4 weeks. But in the end of the day, it's important that I maintain a single life so I can make the utmost money for them. And being single is better because if I have a woman, she's gonna tell me, well, I don't want you to go out tonight, I don't want you to perform tonight, and stuff like that, and it's gonna hurt my stuff.
I was with someone for 5 years and it was all fine until one day he just wasn't okay with it anymore and started slut shaming me after 5 years. But the dude I'm with now just doesn't really not that he doesn't pay attention to it, but he doesn't come into the club, he doesn't really have to see what I don't know. I guess it would bum him out if he saw like the amount of flirting.
Out of sight, out of
But
mind.
it's different flirting that how I would flirt with him. But it's weird because people change. Like they think that they're fine with it or they pretend like they're fine with it and they're really not.
For me,
true.
it's not that I can't find someone that'll accept me. I wouldn't want to date anyone while I'm stripping, because I mean, the things that we have to do, it's like we're acting like if we're interested in like the customers or, flirting. I feel like in a way that's, to me, I'm not saying for everyone, to me, that's like cheating. Like I can't. And then when they ask you, like, do you have a boyfriend? And then if I say yeah, then it's kind of like, that's already kind of like a deal breaker,
Everyone has their standards.
Or got intimate with a customer. 3, 2,
Yeah, it's all agreed. I believe so.
1, go.
Oh, snap, look at that. Good on her.
In my 10 years of dancing, I had one guy like come in and like try to actively pursue me. So it was like every shift he was coming in and he wasn't totally haggard. So, after a while I was like, all right, I'll go on a few dates with you. But, he turned out to be a total fucking weirdo. So, it didn't have to last anyway.
I performed in New York City in Webster Hall, and I met my ex-wife there.
Oh.
It was a blessing because I have 3 beautiful kids, and we're still friends, and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I did meet a good person at the time.
Sometimes you meet someone
cool.
just like you
That's
would
cool.
out at the nightclub or the bar, and you're like, yeah, let's go home and do stuff together. I mean, yeah, I'm a person, I'm attracted to other people, and sometimes, it just works out.
I would support my child if they wanted to become a stripper. 3, 2, 1,
This is interesting.
go.
Strongly disagree. She ran there.
I didn't have like the greatest like upbringing. My mom was pretty terrible to me. Everybody was like, so I grew up kind of like loner. Oh my gosh, to even think about like my daughter, I feel like I'm there. Like I feel like she can do so much more than dancing than what I'm doing. I'm not saying that stripping is bad because it pays my bills, and there's beautiful women that you meet and they're there because they're single moms, but I just feel like my daughter there's something so much better that she can do than this.
I mean, I didn't have a bad childhood, and I ended up in something like this. I was actually very well supported my entire life as a child and given every opportunity, and I still did it, and it was my choice.
But this is something that you're not going to be able to do when you're 40, really 50 years old, 60 years old. It's a shelf life. That's what it is. You do this right now that you're young, you get as much as you can. But what's to say that if something happens to my daughter, like she's not going to make money at 40, 50, 60 stripping.
She's well grounded. The woman in brown is really well grounded and understands like the next steps, that there's 40, 50s and 60s, and stripping is like she said, shelf life thing.
If I had a girl, I'd be scared, I'd be really scared.
Scared of what?
Scared of her being taken advantage of. Scared of her having bad experiences that you've experienced dancing. You would probably have them even whether or not you did dance.
I was date raped when I was 18 by a coworker, and I wasn't at a strip club.
I'm not saying it can't happen just because you're not a stripper doesn't mean you can't get raped. I'm saying that you come across and put yourself in a lot more difficult positions being a stripper. I would imagine being a woman from what I've heard from other girls. You don't think so?
To her point, I had the complete opposite upbringing. I'm third generation college. I had a great middle class upbringing. I'm in the situation I'm in because I put myself in that situation and I made the adult choice to dance. However, I'm not saying if my child chose to dance, just like my mom, I would demonize them or love them any less. I just would want more for them.
But would you support them is the question.
Yes, my mother supports me. Would she rather me not be a stripper? Of course.
I think that it takes like a strong person to be an entertainer or a sex worker on any level. And if I had a child that grew up to be any of those things, and if it wasn't right for them or if they felt like it was too much for them, I would hope that they would recognize it and get out of it. Because I've seen girls kind of be like emotionally crippled by this job, and that's really hard to see, because it's not made for everybody. I would just hope that my kid would be aware enough to be like, this sucks for me.
If it wasn't for the money, this would not be my job. 3, 2,
Yeah, it was. I feel like it's such a agreeable thing. All right, let's get the perspective of the bros.
It's strictly because I make decent money. That's just the bottom line. I mean, have I had really fun times at work? Yeah, I've had some great times at work. But at a point in time, it does start to wear on you. Like I said, the late nights. There are just certain things and aspects about being in the club that just really can wear on you over time. And so, yeah, it's definitely because of the money.
There's times where like it's real dead at the club and you have to go up and you make like $2. You're like, damn, that was brutal. But you still had fun like looking at the ceiling mirrors, laying there doing nothing.
I mean, what man wouldn't want to go, you know, to a party there's only women.
That's right.
And you're outnumbered, you know, 20 to 1, and you gotta take your clothes off. Like, it doesn't sound pretty.
It's fun for
bad at all
us.
to
It's
me.
fun.
It's fun.
We like it.
Stripping is empowering. 3, 2, 1.
I think so. Because you have to like show yourself and in a vulnerable state, like you only have like a top and like underwear on, and you just gotta just like put yourself out there and then just do what you have to do. Yeah, I agree.
Strongly agree, baby.
Stripping's the best. You get people's money. You stand over a sea of dudes and then their wallets fly towards you. It's amazing.
Until you had like money just fall over you, it's like an adrenaline you can't get from.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
maybe
sound of
like
singles.
skydiving or jumping
Hell
off of that feeling feels like yes. You're like, oh yes, I can pay this bill tomorrow.
When I'm on stage doing, you know, show, do a towel act, pull the G-string off, things like that. Just hearing women scream out of the top of their lungs, not because somebody told them, hey, make some noise, but just because they couldn't control themselves enough and they just had to scream. They just had to just let it out, and hear all of them do it at the same time. That's
great.
very
Good for you,
empowering.
bro.
I mean, being able to make your own decision about your body, that's the number one. When it comes to feminists and being like, you're not empowered doing this. It's like, I made the decision to be here. Nobody's making this decision for me. It's my body and my choice, and that's empowerment. Yay!
Great job to all these guys right here. You know, best wishes. If I could, I'll send you $1.